I think I've got a live video going now in the chat room, and I'm getting one going also on my fan page. So thanks for being patient with me. I have a lot to share with you today, and so please join me in the chat room by going to 12radio.com and clicking on the chat button, and that will bring you into our Facebook chat group. We call it our chat room, and that's where you can interact with me. So you can watch the show live if you would like to, or you can just listen and participate in the chat. You'll find my banner is the pinned post at the top of the page, and that is how you interact with me. So if you want to ask me a question or comment on today's topic, that's where you do that. You will find me and other people commenting there. And if you would like a reading later on in the show, please post your question there, and that's where I'll be able to read for you. So, it's Valentine's week. And I don't like to put a lot of emphasis on Valentine's Day particularly, other than I do always appreciate an opportunity to express my love for life. That is something that I don't like to miss out on. So Valentine's Day really is just that for me. It's not necessarily a romantic day, although I do always do something for my wife. But it is a day where I celebrate with my sisters and my brother-in-laws and nieces and nephews and my wife and son. And, it's just a time to recognize love. My parents did that when we were kids. My parents gave us Valentine's Day gifts because they loved us. And so I like seeing it that way so much better, because the focus does not have to be so much on romantic relationships. However, I know that a lot of us are focused on romantic relationships right now. And so I am going to talk about that a little bit today on my show. I'm going to talk about the energy dynamics of relationships, because the way that our energy bodies interact with the people that we're in relationship with really does have something to do with the way that we function in our relationships, and if our relationships are healthy and if they're lasting and long term. And, I've been married for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 years at the end of this month when my wife and I met. So I do think I have a few things to share about long-term relationships, because I, turns out, have quite a bit of experience in this area. So that's something I'm going to share with you today. If you saw my Power Peak article, you know what I'm going to be talking about. So I write for the Power Peak every week. I also put this article out in my newsletter. I'm going to share that newsletter in the chat room. If you aren't receiving my newsletter, I would suggest that you do. I send it out every Monday morning. It has an article that is the topic of my show for the week. It also has the stone and the card of the week out of my Kindred Spirits energy oracle deck, and it also has the featured meditation, which is the meditation we're going to do here on the show. And there's a link in the newsletter to get that meditation if it's something that you want to have. It's a free download. And it also talks about my card decks, my Kindred Spirits energy oracle, and my ground, bless, protect, and move. So I always have stuff in there about what's going on. Like today is 1-2 day over at 1-2 Listen. And after the show, I'm going to be available for you for the rest of the day and evening for the most part. And by phone and by chat. And I have a very special rate for you today. I also have some great prices going on in my time-based sessions and my email readings. And so you can check all of that out through my newsletter. So I did put that in the chat room, or you can go to KristiBarrow.com and subscribe if you're not receiving that. I'd love to share with you what I have going on every week. So this conversation is really about the way that we interact with other people in our energy bodies, and how does that impact relationships. So when people ask me about a relationship, and is this relationship a good fit, or how is my relationship doing, or is this person I just met a good potential for me, what I look at is the energy match in people's energy bodies. And so I look at a heart chakra energy match. How do you line up there? It is a very important element of how relationships work if your heart matches their heart. and I don't mean an exact match, but roughly the same vibration. When we have a sense of familiarity with somebody, when we meet somebody for the first time and feel like I have known them for years, I'm really drawn to them, this is a person I feel like I want to be with. I want to tell you something kind of funny about that when it comes to the energy body. We have a tendency to think, oh, they're my soulmate or they're my twin flame. Well, really what they are is they feel like us. So if I feel that way about someone, I felt that way about my wife Rhonda when I met her for the first time. But the reason that I felt that way about her is because her energy feels like my energy. We vibrate at the same rate in the heart chakra. And so that sense of familiarity was actually a familiarity with myself. And I guess that's one way of looking at it when you're thinking of, being connected to another person. That vibrational match is really, really important when it comes to relationships. So it is something that I check when it comes to a relationship question. A new relationship should always have this match. If not, it's not a relationship that is likely to last. And of course, nothing is a 100% predictor of relationships. But this message or this reading of the heart chakra is really, really important. And I usually recommend to people, if I don't find that match, that they consider moving on to someone else. That let me tell you why. When there is a disparity in energy, so somebody's higher and somebody's lower, there's not a match going on. There is a power struggle that goes on in relationships between those two heart chakras. One thing that we know to be true is that theory of entrainment, which is the idea that energies match up to each other. Our energy tends to match up to the energy we're around. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, your energy is going to try to match up with them. It's just something that we feel safer, more comfortable when we match. Okay. So if your vibration is high and another person's vibration is lower by quite a bit, you're constantly going to be pulling down. It's sort of like they're pulling down on you while you're pulling up on them to try to match. Well, the higher the vibration, the better we function, the happier we are, the more spiritually connected we are, the better we feel in our bodies. So if you're the person that vibrates higher and you're being pulled down all the time in a relationship, that's not a healthy relationship for you. You want a relationship that pulls you up or keeps you up. It's better not just pulls you up, but keeps you up. You want a relationship that matches so that you stay up, right? So instead of that, sometimes what happens is there's somebody that's pulling on you all the time, pulling you down. We use that language all the time, but we don't really know what it means. This person pulls me down. This person drains me. This person takes a lot from me. That is what we're talking about in relationships, is that energy of being pulled down by somebody. Now, the other person will constantly feel pulled up. Now, you might think that's a good thing, but it actually isn't, because it makes a person feel inadequate when they're constantly being pulled up and up and up. Like no matter what they do, it's not good enough. They have to continue to strive and continue to strive to be better and better and better. That is kind of demoralizing, and it does affect a person's self-esteem. And so it's actually not good. What is good is to be with someone who helps you to maintain your vibration, or that the two of you move up together at the same time. So if you grow and change and develop, you hope that your partner also grows and changes and develops in some way. It doesn't have to be exactly the same way. It just means that you don't stay stagnant. So this is another issue, a vibrational issue that I see in relationships. Maybe you started out matching, and now you're a ways, a year or 2 or 3 into this relationship, and now you have done a lot of work on yourself. You've decided that you want to become more spiritual, or you want to go to college, or you want to learn something, or you really want to improve yourself in some way, and your partner hasn't done that and they've just kind of stayed the same. Then that might mean that your vibration has gone up while theirs has stayed where it was. And so now you're beginning to develop this disparity in relationships where a few things can happen. That might end the relationship. The person who's moved up may feel like I've moved on from them. I'm moving forward when they're not. You know the language, we use it all the time. I'm moving forward and they're just stuck, and they're holding me back. I want to move forward and they're not moving forward. This kind of language. That's what's happening. So a few things can happen in that relationship. That relationship might end. It might continue but be unhealthy, where that disparity is always pulling on you're always pulling on each other. Or you might recognize that this is what's going on, and maybe you and your partner work together on it. It generally doesn't mean that the relationship needs work. It means that one of the people in the relationship needs some work. Maybe the person who's feeling stuck and stagnant needs some help to move forward. Maybe it's time for them to go to school, or it's time for them to change jobs. Maybe it's time for them to see a counselor and work on something that's going on with them personally. And as their vibration comes up and it begins to get back into that place of matching the other person, we're back to a place of harmony in that relationship. So these things, it's an ebb and flow of energy that happens throughout relationships all the time. Knowing about it, recognizing it, being aware that that's what's happening in a relationship is really key to having a healthy relationship. Starting out with that vibrational match and then finding a way to maintain it throughout your relationship really, really matters. It's a key in having a healthy, happy relationship in which both people feel that they can grow and develop and change, and no one has to stay the same, and no one has to become a burden on the other person, that's another word that we use, that burden word. The person who has become a burden really needs to find some change in their life. They need to find a way to grow and develop. They need to find something new. And it doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't have to match what the other person is doing, but they do need to do that. So that's what I'm talking about with energy and relationships. We're going to get to more of that, but I think we'll do our meditation now. I was trying to decide what meditation to do today, and I felt like one of the things that's important on this week of love and wherever you're at with relationships, that it's really, really important to remember that we all matter and that we all have a divine spark inside each of us. And whether you're with someone and have a date for Valentine's Day or not, doesn't change the fact that you have that divine spark inside of you. So I decided maybe we should do my divine spark meditation. So let's do that. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Follow me on a journey to find the divine spark in you. Come with me as we walk down a wooded path. Feel the cool air on your face and hear the pine needles crunch softly under your feet. Ahead you see a clearing. Standing in the clearing is a beautiful gilded mirror. Approach the mirror and stand in front of it. Take in the picture before you. There you stand, the divine you. See the flame of your heart light flicker in the breeze. See the beautiful colors of your aura as they move and swirl around you. See the powerful red cord of energy that connects you to the earth. And then note the silver thread that connects you to the divine. Take in the real you, the one that is the divine, the one that is infinite, the one that will live on beyond this lifetime. Take a moment to memorize this image. You will need it to give you strength when you feel weak and disconnected. Remember that this is who you really are. When you're ready, join me as we walk back up the path, breathing in the scent of the trees and feeling the sun on your face. And now, take 3 deep breaths and open your eyes. Very good. I hope that you enjoyed that meditation. I think that it's important for us to remind ourselves of who we really are sometimes. I know I get very stuck in what's going on in this physical reality, in this physical body, and sometimes I need to remember that there's a whole lot more to who I am than just that. And so I hope that helped you too. This time of year, I think that's important because our relationships do not define us. Whether we have a relationship or not does not define us. Who we are on the inside is what really matters. I hope you, and if you're watching the video, you've noticed that I have a visitor today. My little cat Mimi is behind me on the chair. She's had quite a week. She was spayed at the vet on Wednesday and has been recovering. And to make it easier so that we didn't have to try to give her pills, because I don't know if you've ever given a cat a pill, but that is not a fun experience. They had a medication they could give her in her IV that is a pain medication that lasts for 3 days. And so they figure if she has that, she doesn't actually need any other pain meds. Well, I think it did last 3 days. She hasn't seemed to be in pain at all, but she has been crazy, just wild-eyed and doing this weird low growl and snarl everywhere, every time you touch her or look at her, that's what she's doing. And just kind of funny. She's had quite a week. So I'm glad she's joining us here on the show. And she's much more back to herself now, fortunately for us, because she was a little scary for a while there. Okay, so I want to get back to the energy dynamics of relationships for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get to the chat room and see what you all have to say about this and share the card and stone of the week, and then we'll get to some readings. So one thing that we need to know is that our vibration is not fixed. It is something that shifts and changes. And sometimes we grow in different directions in relationships. And so it's something that it's important to learn to become aware of. Do you still feel a magnetic pull to your relationship? Or is it sort of the opposite now? Do you feel a little like magnets that are pointed the wrong way and repelling each other? That kind of energy indicates that there's been a shift in vibration in one or the other of you. And it's time to take a look at how do you bring yourself back to a place of being connected again. So here are some ideas to help, repair that, because just because your energies aren't matching right now does not mean that your relationship is doomed. It simply means that there's some changes that need to be made and awareness of this. Physical closeness is key to maintaining an energy match. Daily physical contact is very important. Remember to hug and kiss and hold hands, because this causes entrainment or alignment in the heart chakra. Of course, having sex with someone also does that, but that's not the only way. Just regular physical affection is actually really important to keeping that energy match going. Be intentionally supportive of the other person's choices and opinions. Pay attention to patterns of behavior in yourself. Have you gotten to a point where you tend to disagree most of the time with your partner? Has this become a habit that you perpetuate without thinking? Consciously choose your responses, aligning yourself with them. It doesn't really matter if you necessarily agree with every choice they make. They are still an individual and have the right to do what they think is right. It really is your job to support them implicitly, unless it's like a dangerous choice. But it doesn't mean that you always have to agree. What it does mean is that when you are in relationship with someone, you're making an agreement that you will support them as they do the things that they want to do with their life. Choose a project, cause, or job to do together. So be intentional about uniting as one to complete something together. As you work side by side, your energy will begin to match up, and that repairs discord. So choose something that you want to do together and do it together. Make yourselves a team again if you have kind of lost that. Spend time with other couples who have healthy energy matches. So when it comes to energy, like does attract like. We know that. We've learned it lots of ways. So give yourself good examples of how you want your relationship to be. So there is a trend that happens that in groups of couples who are friends, that one couple will get divorced and then 2 or 3 others will as well, because you're around each other and you're observing and experiencing and matching to that energy. So you want to be intentional about hanging around people who have good relationships. You can learn from that. Sometimes that means hanging around a little bit with people who are older than you. My parents have both passed, but they had a very, very happy marriage. And so I learned from them. They were a team. And I learned a lot from them about relationships. It's helped me a lot to understand myself in relationships, to have watched them. And I do keep an eye on friends, and we like to spend time with friends who are happily married, because it helps us to see their relationships are very positive. It helps us to learn new ways for our relationship to be positive as well. Doesn't mean, to throw away all your divorced friends at all. It just means make sure you have some good examples in your life of happy relationships that you can learn from. Remember that sometimes discord in a relationship cannot be repaired, and it is better for both of you to move on. It is a healthy move for people and creates a sense of freedom and relief. If you have tried everything you possibly can and you just still are not connecting, it really is better to allow you both to be free and move on and have the potential for a more positive relationship. It is okay to feel good about leaving a relationship that is no longer an energetic match for you, if that really is the case. If you've done everything you can do and you just don't match up, that's okay. Consider that it's a positive for both people to move forward. Yeah. Okay, so I want to share a couple of other things here. The card of the day. So now every week on the show, I am drawing a card from my deck, Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle. And today's card is Gabriel. So Gabriel's an archangel. So this deck has archangels and goddesses, guides, and chakras in the energy body in it. Just lots of different energy elements that we can connect with and that we, might need to find balance with. Let's see. I'm going to post Gabriel in the chat so that you can see Gabriel. Gabriel's message is that there are messages coming your way. Communication, listening, speaking truth, honesty, clear speech in the throat chakra. So when Gabriel's around, it's really important to listen. It's also really important to speak clearly your needs and listen to others as they're doing the same. The challenge when Gabriel comes up is being dishonest about how you feel, holding back, withholding your emotions from others, and not listening. So you want to, check yourself. Are you struggling with any of those areas? And how can you shift to a more positive way of communicating, being honest about how you feel, being, sharing everything about how you feel with those that you love, and listening and giving them the same opportunity. The crystal for Gabriel is aquamarine. So I'm going to hold one up here in the video, and then I'm going to post a postcard in the chat. Aquamarine is a stone I love dearly. You'll laugh at me because I always say it's one of my favorites. But all the stones that I talk about are my favorites. That is why I talk about them. But aquamarine is a powerful communication stone. Let's see, I'm just posting a video, or not a video, a postcard of it in the chat room so that you can see it. This is my piece of aquamarine that I bought this piece a couple of months after I had my thyroid surgery 3 years ago, and was recovering, from a major surgery in my throat chakra. And this is a way that this stone has helped me a lot with getting my communication back. So the aquamarine balances the throat chakra. It opens the door for clear and honest communication And it encourages diplomacy, because part of a clear communication is communicating in a way that is kind and loving as well as true and able to be heard by others. You know, we all know people who communicate too aggressively and who are difficult to listen to or even validate because of the way that they share their emotions. We want to do this in a way that makes things better, that improves communication, that improves understanding. And so I think a stone about a stone that offers diplomacy and a softening of the way that we communicate and express ourselves really does matter a lot. So that's aquamarine. Get yourself a piece. You can buy it raw, like this piece that I have and that's in the picture in the chat room. Or you can get it in jewelry. Aquamarine is a semi-precious stone, and so it's a little bit more expensive. I paid about $110, I think, for the piece that I have that I'm showing today. It was worth every dime for me, you know, obviously, because I do a lot of work with stones and healing myself and others. And but you can certainly get a little piece of aquamarine jewelry that is not as expensive. But it is a powerful energy if you're working on really learning to express yourself and being honest with your emotions. A stone I would recommend that you get. Okay, so let's see how you all are doing in the chat room. Wanted to say hello to Liliana in the video and hello to Lynn in the video. Very nice to see you all. Nice to have you here on the video. I do post the videos of my shows on my YouTube channel. I'm going to share that in the chat room so that you all can see it. If you have not subscribed to me on YouTube, I would really appreciate it if you did. You all know the drill. You've heard us all talk about it. You have to have 1,000 fans to get, you know, like YouTube legit. And then you can do a lot more with your YouTube channel. And I'm trying to do that. I've had a YouTube channel for over a year now, and I put all of my videos in there. If you're just listening and not in the chat, if you just search my name, Kristi Brower, you will find my channel. And I would so appreciate a subscribe if you can, because I you know, I want to get legit there and do more videos. I'm going to be doing I have an introductory video I'm working on that I'm going to do of my card deck. And I'm going to introduce the cards and talk about them and share that on my YouTube channel. That's going to be coming up probably here in just the next few days. I hope to get it done. So, you know, if you can, check me out on YouTube. It's a lot of fun, but I do share my shows there also. So if you're listening in the archives and you wish you could watch this show, you can go to YouTube, find Kristi Brower, and you will find this show. I just named them by the date and the topic of the show, so they're very easy to find. Okay, let's see who we've got here in the chat. Say hello to Alishaya and Tara and Kai and Jessica and Elizabeth and Kevin and Jan and Liliana and Donna. Let's see. Lots of you there, and Khalid, so nice to see you today. I'm going to take a little drink and then we'll do a few readings. I'm going to draw cards and do readings for anybody in the chat who asks, well, for as many as I can get to. Okay, let's see. Let Facebook do its thing for me here. We all know what that is like, right? Facebook doing its thing where it's being slow. There we go. There you all are. Nice to have you all here with me. Elizabeth posted a picture of my cards and my book. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that very much. I love my gorgeous cards as well. I'm really happy with them. Okay, Jessica said, may I have a reading? I could really use some guidance. Absolutely. Let's pull some cards for you. See what we've got going on here. I have to say, it's still like kind of a surreal experience to read for you guys with my own card deck in my hands. Something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and the fact that it's here and happening is kind of amazing. So, Jessica, what I'm going to do for you is called a situation, action, outcome reading. And that is, it's a 3-card spread. It's my favorite spread, actually. And it is I'll explain it here in just a minute. But I'm going to pull your cards first. Okay. So a situation, action, outcome reading means that the first card gives us an idea of what the situation is, what is going on with you, kind of the basic issue. And so for you, I pulled the solar plexus card. So I think we're dealing with some desire to change, some things that you want to move forward with, and working on feeling strong inside of yourself and ready to do that. I feel like there's some energy around other people's opinions and whether this is the right thing for you or not, and you knowing something is right when someone else maybe is questioning it. And so this is an opportunity for you to take the time to really trust yourself. That's the situation. The action card is the Raven, and the Raven is all about synchronicity and change. So that's about things working out in your favor in ways you may not have ever expected. And so when you trust yourself, when you trust your inner guidance, things happen for you in a really positive way. It is also about listening and receiving messages. And so this means it's time to listen to yourself and your intuition. It's time to listen to your guidance, Jessica. And what's coming forward for you? What do you feel like you should do? And if you feel that, then you should do it. You want to watch for the challenges with the Raven, and that is missed messages, so not paying attention, you hiding your true self, and people being disingenuous. So you want to keep an eye on any of that going on around you and just be aware of it. Use that awareness inside of yourself, that gut intuition that you have in your solar plexus. Remember, that was the situation card that is telling you what's going to happen next and what you should do. Okay, that's your reminder. And the outcome card. So if you follow the message from Raven, what happens? You know, if you really listen and you watch for synchronicities and you trust yourself and listen for those messages, what's the outcome? Well, the outcome is seeking the light and change. It means positive change coming. It means good things are happening. Your awareness of them and willingness to allow them really matters right now. So that is the message for you, Jessica. This is a really fun reading. I will post the cards in the chat so that you can see them here really quickly. That was Solar Plexus, Raven, and Moth. If you like my cards, you can go to KristiBrower.com, click on Oracle Cards, and that is where you can order them. They are now actually physically available, and the guidebook is available as well, either in paperback format or it's available as an ebook on Kindle as well. So a really fun thing for me to be able to read for you guys this way with my very own cards. And I'm just going to share the card pictures for you in the chat, Jessica, so that you can see the message that came forward for you. This is a really positive message. It really is all about trusting your gut, that solar plexus intuition, as you move forward in making a change. So thank you for your question. It's fun to be here with you today. Okay, Liliana says, I could really use a clearing, feeling much anxiety. Okay, so we're going to clear your anxiety, but I'm going to pull a card for you as well, Liliana, and kind of see what's at the root of this. What do we need to do here? Always good to know, huh? Here we go. Okay, ooh, and I pulled the Iris card. So Iris is a goddess. She is a goddess that always indicates that there are messages from those on the other side coming your way. So this is an important time to work on your connection to loved ones who crossed. Really think about your situation, Liliana, and how have your ancestors, how have those who came before you persevered during difficult times? How did they get through this period when they went through a challenging period? You probably have some family members that you knew as a child that you remember some things about them, and how did they persevere? The message is important. It's important now for you to look at that and ask yourself, how can I learn from the past and my elders really, and to get through this challenge? Now I'm going to do a little clearing for you also to clear some of this heavy energy from you, to give you some space from that. Let's see. Just gonna clear. Your crown chakra is way too big, so we're going to clear a bunch of energy out of there, Liliana. Make sure that you're grounding regularly. If you don't have it, go to my website and get energy breathing. It's kristibrower.com. Click on free meditations. Get the meditation called energy breathing. You will find that it will help you very much in staying balanced and grounded and centered and keeping all of that excess energy out of your head and help with your anxiety, okay? Okay, let's see. Let's post the card so that Liliana can see Iris. I guess I should be holding these cards up on the video too. Sorry, guys. This is Iris. And there we go. We'll post Iris for you. All right, now Donna says she would love a card, so let's pull a card for Donna. We'll do a little bit of, I don't know how you guys pull cards, but I kind of have my way. I do not fan cards unless I'm reading for someone else right in person. Donna's card fell out. I don't know if you ever see that, but this is the Ariel card, Archangel Ariel. Sometimes cards just fall out. The other thing that I generally do is I shuffle the cards and then I just let them separate themselves wherever the deck wants to separate, and the card with its back to me is the card that I draw. So, you know, lots of different ways. I don't really like to fan. I have small hands and I find fanning is hard for me to do. I can't fan the cards out particularly well because I'm just little. So I like the help of the way that I do it. So this is Archangel Ariel. Her message is all about magic, Donna. I love Archangel Ariel, and I'm going to show her picture on her card on the chat, and then I will post it for you. I love all of my cards very much, but this card in particular turned out so beautifully. You guys know, I'm sure if you've been hearing me talk, but I did the artwork for these cards. This is my artwork, as well as, you know, I wrote the book. So this is Archangel Ariel. So this is all about a period of synchronicity and looking for a miracle. So if you are struggling with something that you really hope is going to work out in your favor, now is the time that it will. You want to make connections to elementals, fairies, gnomes, those kinds of energies, even just in, you know, in our realm, butterflies and, you know, other magical beings. This is a third eye card, and so this is all about intuition, trusting yourself, being aware, being honest with yourself. The challenge with the Ariel card is deception, wishful thinking, and dissatisfaction. So you want to be really careful about gratitude. You want to be really careful about being honest with yourself. Wishful thinking is not intuition, and so you want to be very careful. And if you are not sure if your answer is correct or if it is wishful thinking, I want you to reach out and ask someone else for some guidance to make sure the messages match. Sometimes we get really stuck in what we want, so much so that we have a difficult time with finding what is true. We don't want to deceive ourselves. Her stone is purple fluorite. And her meditation, this is an important one. Dear Archangel Ariel, please surround me in magic, drawing possibilities to me, bringing fairies to guide me, and attracting miracles. So this is a really, really powerful time for synchronicity and miracles to happen for you, Donna. So yay, that's the kind of message I like to give, right? Okay. Let's see. You bet. Okay, so Tara has a question. I would love a message on a new opportunity. I am excited about it. If you feel drawn to it, please. Yes. So let's do a situation, action, outcome reading on this, Tara, to see, you know, what's the message around this particular situation. So, ooh, okay. Oh, hang on. Yep. Sometimes I have to check myself because I don't necessarily like the way the cards. I want to make sure that they're separating the way that my intuition is telling me that they should. Okay. Ooh, gosh, this is a beautiful reading. Metatron is your situation card. So, of course, the Metatron is an archangel. He is the archangel of truth. So I always go with him. So truth revealed. So this is your situation, is that the truth will be revealed. There, this card is all about integrity, seeking answers, and accepting what is true. So this is an important message because you want to be sure that you are getting the straight story on this situation. Whenever Metatron comes up, I'm always checking for the challenge, which is deception. So the other challenge words that I share here are deception, envy, backstabbing, and avoidance. So you want to be really careful that you're getting the truth about this situation and that you are accepting what is true. Sometimes we don't want to accept the truth and we just are blind to something that later we regret. So I want you to be very clear about accepting truth in this situation. And then your action card is Luna. And Luna is the moon. She's all about feminine energy, cycles, ebb and flow, and change. Her energy body is the aura. This is your whole body, okay? So this is a really important time to recognize the need for change, to allow it. The challenge with Luna is digging in our heels and refusing to change. It's also can be about avoiding emotions and becoming hyper rational. So you want to pay really close attention to how you feel, Tara, your emotions about this situation. Really, really important, okay? Her stone is Rainbow Moonstone. Trying to see if I have a piece sitting here. I have so many stones sitting here. It's crazy. If you guys can see this, it's nuts. But okay, so this is a piece of Rainbow Moonstone. And her message is, Dear Luna, please connect me to the energy of the moon, guiding me to allow change in my life. So this is a good message. You're looking to make a change. You said that. You're looking for a new opportunity. This is an allowing of change to happen. So your outcome card cracks me up because it is the card of the week, the card I drew for us already, which is Gabriel. Oh, let me show you Luna, and then this is Gabriel. So of course, this is about messages and clear communication. So you, again, the word dishonest comes up. So I want you to be really, really sure. There are two cards here with a challenge about dishonesty and deception. So this is a really important message, Tara, that you have the straight story about this situation, okay? But if you really listen to yourself, remember, Luna is about feminine energy and female power and allowing for change and not digging in your feet, but letting things flow and happen the way that they are meant to. Keep an eye on that and watch for deception, and I think you're going to be just fine. So thank you for your question. I will post these cards for you here really quick. It's really fun that I can post my cards for you guys. I did a version of them that has my copyright on them so that I can share them publicly because I really like to. I think they're so beautiful. They turned out so good that I'm still kind of blown away that they actually happened, you know? It's fun for me to get to share them with all of you. So there's Metatron. Here's Luna. Come on, Facebook. You can do it. Okay. And Gabriel. So, one thing I hope to do eventually is to create an app or have an app created for me with my cards. I don't know about you guys, but I do like to draw cards on my phone. I have a couple of decks on my phone, and they're very useful that way. And so I'm looking into ways to get that done as well. Alishaya says that she can relate to saying this is one of my favorites, like I always say about my stones. I'm glad that you are. I'm really glad because I'm not the only one who does that, right? That's awesome. Okay, so Norella would like a reading. What's her journey? What's going on? All right, well, let's do another 3-card spread. I'm having fun with these. Okay. Let's see. Pull some cards for Norella. Just do a little bit of shuffling. I love these cards. They're small. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're playing card size. And I did that on purpose. I really like small cards because, for one, they're easy to carry with you. This is a deck that could go in your bag and be with you anywhere you wanted because it's small enough. And it's just easy to draw from for that reason. Okay, so Norella, let's see what we've got for you. Ooh, yay, the transformation card. Always a good sign. Ooh, Raven coming up again. That doesn't surprise me with what's going on in the world right now. And Gabriel coming up again. That's wow. Okay, so we've got butterfly, which is the situation card, and of course that is the transformation card. Everybody, we know what butterfly means. The transformation is happening. You know, you go into your cocoon and you turn into goo and you come out a butterfly, right? We know that how that happens. So your action card is the Raven card. Remember, Tara also, I think, had the Raven card, which is all about that allowing of synchronicities and messages. So being open to what you're guided to do and where you're guided to go. I'm going to turn to the page, so I'm sure I get everything here. But this is a really important time to listen, Norella. Listen for messages that come your way. You don't want to miss those. And so allowing for anything that you feel like a message is a message. I think it's really important to remember that sometimes we question, is this really a message, or am I just making this up in my head? No, you're not making it up in your head. If you feel it's a message, it's a message, okay? The Raven meditation is, Dear Raven, please open my eyes and my ears that I may get a message. And so that meditation is a great one to do if you feel like you might be missing the message, is to ask for the energy of Raven, the guide Raven, to come forward for you and help you. Black amethyst is the stone for Raven. I'm going to hold it up on the video. I have a piece sitting here with me. Beautiful stone. And of course the outcome again is Gabriel. I wonder why I drew that for this week. So of course this is about speaking your truth and honesty. So this is saying what you really want and then going for it. Here's the meditation from Gabriel. Dear Archangel Gabriel, please open my ears so I may hear the messages, my throat so I may speak truth, and my mind that I may understand. So, Raven and Gabriel have similar messages. So this is all about listening for those messages and speaking honestly about what you want, Rella, okay? I'll post these cards for you in the chat. Okay, we've got time for a couple more. I'm going to post butterfly here, and then we will get to Carol, who would like to have a card if I have time. And yes, Carol, I definitely do have time. So let's see here. These cards, you guys, they're fractals, and you might not realize that they're fractals because some of, like Raven actually does look like a bird, but I manipulated my fractals over and over and over again until I got the images that I wanted. You'll see that Gabriel actually looks like an angel, which is really a lot of fun. I spent many hours on this artwork, and it's so much fun. But that's what they are. Is they are fractals. I had a great time creating them, and I know that there's going to be more. I'm writing a book right now on the energy body, and I'm using fractals to illustrate what I see in the energy body and the way that things are connected, and what it looks like when you're balanced and when it looks like when you're out of balance, and how those things look. And so that's going to be coming out pretty soon as I finish writing it, obviously, and finish the artwork. So pretty excited about that as well. Okay, Carol, here's your card. Ooh, Archangel Michael. So this is another of my cards that looks like an angel, a big blue beautiful angel. Of course, we all know and love Archangel Michael. He is the protection angel. So the message is all about safety, security, and protection. Now is a really important time that you ask for help and be aware of what is going on in your surroundings. Is something going on that maybe isn't okay, that maybe you need to speak up about, that you haven't said anything about? Now is the time. It's okay to call on Archangel Michael. His stone is black tourmaline. I'm going to show that in the video here. But, if you need to speak up about something and ask for help to feel safer or protected or change something in your life, Carol, that now is the time to do it. Here is the meditation for Archangel Michael, which may help you. Dear Archangel Michael, please surround me in a blue bubble of protection, keeping out all energy that would harm me. Please guide me to safety and bring me peace. Okay, Carol? So anything in your life that feels not so safe, Archangel Michael is here to help you. Let's see. Okay, I think... I'm just going to answer a question here. Quelly says, Kristi, do you like people touching your cards? It depends. When I used to read for people in person, I had decks that were specifically for that, and then I had decks that were my own that I didn't let other people touch. The reality is this, that cards are pieces of paper and cardboard. That's all they are, right? They are a physical representation of our intuition. But my energy gets on my cards, just like your energy gets on your cards, right? And so it is important to, consider that you might notice that every time I do a reading, then the next time I do a reading, I knock on my cards. To me, that knocks the energy of the previous reading off. So I do kind of have both quality. I have cards that I let other people touch, and these days I only read on the phone and on the radio anyway, and so it's not an issue. But in the past I had decks that were specifically to be used with other people, and then my own decks that were just mine. But it really is okay. There's no right or wrong about cards. Do what feels right to you, okay? All right, I have one last question. Valerie says, what was the message from my disturbing dream this morning? Ooh, let's see. Let's get a card on this and see what we get. Oh, heart chakra. Okay, so I feel like what's happening here is that there's some energy that is built up inside of you, Valerie, that is trying to release. This is old hurt and emotional pain energy that you've carried for a long time, and you are disturbed by it. It's energy that doesn't feel good to you, that doesn't feel comfortable inside of you anymore. It's time to release it. So I would encourage you to find a way to do that. If you need to write in your journal, or maybe you need to write a letter and burn it, or maybe you need to, burn some pictures or something else that represents the part of your life that you feel like needs to go. But this is a time when you show yourself self-love by recognizing that something's going on in here that you don't want anymore, and choose a way to release it. Maybe you bless a candle with, I want, as this candle burns, it's going to burn away the anger or hurt or grief or self-loathing or frustration that I'm feeling inside of my heart, and release me from this pain and release me from this energy. The stone for this card, the heart chakra, I'm going to show it here. And then the stone is ocean jasper. Love ocean jasper. Here's a pink and green piece. And the meditation is, I love myself, I am at peace. So practice that mantra, I love myself, I am at peace, and see what you can do to release that energy that's built up inside of you in your heart. Spend a little time thinking about it. I think you'll come up with what it is, okay? Oh, you guys, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget that you can find me right after the show over at 12listen. We are on sale for 1-2 day. If you like my cards, go to KristiBrower.com, click on Oracle Cards, and you can see the way to get them and to get the book that goes along with them. I look forward to my time here with you every week. Don't forget, on Wednesdays I have my 1-2 meditation show. This week I'm going to share some different classical music that can be used for meditation. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'll be back again on Thursday for the Psychic Sisters. Please stay tuned for the Keys to Awakening with Velva Dawn and Kathleen Peterson and friends. And as always, thanks for listening to 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.